What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Tactics, and I just finished watching that video with Will Smith slapping the shit out of that reporter guy. And for those of you guys who haven't seen the video, I'll try to find it and post a link down in the description. But the story behind it was, they were on the red, I don't know if it was the red carpet or whatever, some kind of carpet. And the reporter, went in to give Will a hug or whatever, and Will, was hugging the guy. And then the reporter moved in and tried to kiss Will on the mouth. And, Will was kind of just like, oh, shit, what the fuck? And he, slapped it. And it wasn't even just, a regular slap. He, backhanded it with, some kind of, some kind of whip on it. It was, like that. Crazy. But yeah, a lot of people, I've been reading a lot of the comments in a lot of those videos, and, there are a lot of people who are bashing Will Smith and saying that he's homophobic and that he's a washed up actor and no one's gonna see MIB3 and he's whack and all this kind of shit. And they're also saying that Will Smith was disrespectful, and for all we know, the reporter is from some kind of foreign country where it's customary for a person to kiss another person on the mouth or whatever like that. It's a formal greeting or whatever like that. In Western cultures, you have, how we greet people is basically handshake or whatever. If you know them a little bit better, then it's a hug or a kiss on the cheek or whatever the case may be. It's different in all parts of the world or whatever, right? But, it's right. They're right. I mean, for all we know, that could just be the way that, people greet one another where that reporter was from. I don't know where he's from. I don't know his background history or whatever like that, but it's a valid argument or whatever. But the way I see it is this. I mean, for example, this may be a bad example, but, Japanese people, they speak Japanese in Japan, right? Now, if a Japanese person is to move to America, yes, they still can speak Japanese, freedom of speech, all that stuff like that. But, if you come to a country that is predominantly an English-speaking country, then, you should probably, and you want to greet somebody, you're going to greet them in a way that they're familiar with. You're obviously not going to greet them in Japanese, right? Because they won't understand it. They don't understand that, and they're not used to that, right? So you got to greet them how they're accustomed to being greeted, which is English, right? Now, the same principle still applies. Yes, if you come from a country where, it's customary for you to greet another person by kissing them on the lips, then that's fine in that country. But if you come to a country where it's more common for them to, shake hands or whatever like that, then you have to take that into account and greet them in that way, kind of thing. It's like, you can't just put that on them because you don't know how they'll react. I mean, mind you, okay, Will Smith probably, I'll cave in this part, in this sense where it's Will Smith shouldn't have slapped the guy. I mean, that was a little uncalled for. I understand where it was coming from, because had it been not 50 Cent or, I can't even think of another name, Ice Cube or something like that, that situation might have gone down a little bit differently. That guy probably would have been dead. You know what I mean? But Will Smith, he comes from he comes from a wholesome background. You know what I mean? He's known as Mr. Nice Guy in the celebrity world or whatever. So, he was a little bit more tame. But mind you, yes, he shouldn't have slapped the guy. I'm sure it was just an impulse thing. He was kind of caught off guard. It was what the fuck? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, he's human. If you were in that situation, you probably would have done the same thing, maybe even worse. I know if a dude, greeted me like that and tried to kiss me on the mouth, I'd probably react the same way, because, I'm not homophobic, but at the same time, I don't want a dude kissing me on the lips. Again, I will reiterate, I am not homophobic, you know what I mean? But it's just, it would make me uncomfortable, you know what I mean? That's just something that I'm not used. I don't even kiss my dad on the lips, you know what I mean? So, for a person who, I think that it was just a matter of, Will was, uncomfortable and, all that stuff, and I think people are kind of, putting him under the bus just a little bit and overreacting about this whole situation. You know what I mean? Because you like, and that's what a lot of people tend to do a lot of the time. So, excuse me, sorry. People put like celebrities on such a high pedestal, especially ones who come off as like squeaky clean and everything. You know what I mean? Like obviously, Will and like all these other people like Denzel Washington and who else, Brad Pitt or whatever. Those guys who come off as like those squeaky clean type of dudes or whatever like that. In front of the media, yeah, like obviously they're gonna portray themselves in the best way possible, but we don't know what they're like behind closed doors. Like paparazzi can only get so much, and then you don't know. Will Smith, might be addicted to cocaine under the rug, and you don't know that. You don't know if he's smoking shit or if he killed a guy or something like that. And we put celebrities on such a high pedestal all the time to the point where it's like when they do something like just a little bit bad or they slip up, we're so quick to turn on them and judge them, and we seem to forget that these people are human and like they do the exact same thing. Like Will Smith is no different than you or me or anybody else. Yes, they're in the spotlight. They're rich, they're famous or whatever like that. But a lot of these celebrities, they either got famous from, some of them got famous just by being lucky. Some of them got famous by releasing sex tapes. Some of them got famous by just working hard and applying themselves. Some of them got famous for being at the right place at the right time. But I mean, that's no different than anybody watching this video right now or anybody out in the world. You know what I mean? Like anyone, if you like you that could happen to you. You could be famous for some shit, like, you know what I mean? Like, so when you put celebrities on such a high pedestal like that and you view them as like godlike figures and they have to be perfect all the time, it's fucking ridiculous because they're just human. They're just people. They're no different than you or me or anybody else, So, I mean, I don't know why people are bugging out over this whole Will Smith thing. I mean, like, I don't know how big of an issue it is, but like I saw it on Twitter and then people were talking about it on YouTube and then I read all the comments and like everyone's just like, oh yeah, fuck MIB and all this shit. First of all, MIB has no competition regardless. Even if this, like, no press is bad press. And I think this situation will actually help MIB because look at what they're going up against. Avengers, The Amazing Spider-Man, Prometheus, and The Dark Knight. Like, you can't fuck with those kind of movies. And Will Smith is known as like summer box office hit type movies. You know what I mean? But when he's coming against like those four movies, I don't know, man. It's tough. So I mean, this quite possibly could be good for him. Mind you, it sucks that I had to go down like this, but I'm sure this will blow over soon. It doesn't seem like that big of a deal, and I hope people don't blow this out of proportion because it's not really that. It's not a big thing. It's not like he went out and he started gay bashing people and stuff, or doing like hate crimes and stuff, or went on a racial slur or whatever. So what? He slapped the guy who tried to kiss him. Like, big fucking deal. It's whatever, right? But anyway, that's my opinion on it. Let me know what you guys think about it, and yeah, I will talk to you guys soon. And for those of you guys watching this video who aren't subscribed to my main channel, feel free to do so. Actually, please do so because I could always use more subscribers over there. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace, and I'm out.